In 1973, the Nigerian Naira was stronger than the British pound. Let that land. The currency of a newly independent African nation was worth more than the currency of its former colonial master. 1 Naira bought 1 pound and 70 pence. Nigerian students did not just get free education. They got free meals, free accommodation, monthly allowances paid directly into their hands by the government. And the chicken they were served in university cafeterias was not small. This was Nigeria, and somebody made sure you forgot it. At independence in 1960, Nigeria walked onto the world stage with something rare: oil, groundnuts, cocoa, tin, palm oil, rubber, coal. A country so naturally wealthy that economists called it the sleeping giant of Africa. And for a brief window, Nigeria woke up. The 1970s oil boom turned Nigeria into one of the fastest-growing economies on the planet. Lagos was being called the New York of Africa. The government built universities and filled them with students who paid nothing. Nothing for tuition, nothing for housing, nothing for food. The government gave them all of it because Nigeria could afford it. Nigerian engineers were being trained, Nigerian doctors, Nigerian lawyers, Nigerian economists. A generation was being built to take this country to the top. The Naira sat above the dollar, above the pound. Ordinary Nigerians traveled abroad, and their money had power. A Nigerian passport meant something. This was real. This happened, and it was deliberately destroyed. Here is where the story turns. Nigeria was producing oil at record levels in the 1970s. The money was coming in faster than the government could count it. But instead of building the infrastructure that would outlast the oil, refineries, factories, agricultural systems, power grids, the money went somewhere else. Into government contracts that were never completed, into foreign accounts that were never traced, into the pockets of military officers who had seized power and were answerable to nobody. The foundations were being eaten from inside, while the outside still looked strong. And then the oil price dropped. In the early 1980s, global oil prices collapsed. Nigeria had built everything on one commodity and saved almost nothing. The government went looking for help, and the IMF was waiting. In 1986, Nigeria accepted the IMF Structural Adjustment Programme. They called it a recovery plan. What it actually was a demolition order. Devalue the Naira, remove food subsidies, cut government spending, privatize public institutions, open the market to foreign goods. Overnight, the Naira collapsed. The currency that had stood above the British pound was now worth a fraction of a penny against the dollar. University funding was slashed. The free meals disappeared. The monthly allowances disappeared. The free accommodation disappeared. Students who had entered university under one Nigeria graduated into a completely different country. Doctors and engineers who had been trained at government expense looked at what Nigeria had become and bought a one-way ticket out. That brain drain has never stopped. But here is what they will never say on your television. The oil did not stop flowing. While Nigerians were lining up at empty petrol stations in an oil-producing nation, and read that again, lining up for petrol in the country that produces the oil, the crude was still leaving Nigerian ports every single day. Shell, Chevron, ExxonMobil, Total Energies. Between 1960 and 2020, Nigeria earned an estimated $1 trillion in oil revenue. $1 trillion. And Nigeria still has the largest number of people living in extreme poverty on the entire African continent. Where did $1 trillion go? The answer is not complicated. It was stolen, not mismanaged, not lost, not misallocated through bureaucratic error. Stolen, systematically, over decades, by people with names, by people with addresses, by people who are alive today. Let me give you a few of those names. Sani Abacha, military ruler from 1993 to 1998. In 5 years, he looted between $3 and $5 billion from the Nigerian treasury. His family and associates have returned portions of those funds from Swiss banks, American banks, British banks, under international pressure. Portions. Not all. Never all. The rest is still sitting in foreign accounts while Nigerian public hospitals run out of gloves. James Ibori, Delta State Governor, convicted in a British court, not a Nigerian court, of money laundering and fraud. British prosecutors found what Nigerian prosecutors could not, or would not. He served time in a British prison, returned to Nigeria, and was received by political figures like a returning dignitary. Diezani, Alison-Madueke, former petroleum minister, $20 billion in missing oil revenue during her tenure at NNPC. $20 billion unaccounted for during the period she oversaw Nigerian oil. She has never been convicted, never imprisoned, living abroad. And the electricity grid she was supposed to help fund through Nigeria's oil revenue still fails Nigerians every single day. Nigerians are currently paying some of the highest electricity tariffs in Africa for power that comes 4 hours a day if they are lucky. Every home runs a generator. Every business runs a generator. Nigerians spend more money on generator fuel every year than the entire national electricity budget. In a country sitting on some of the largest natural gas reserves in the world. This is not incompetence. This is a choice. Now I need to ask you something directly. Is your country doing this to you right now? Do you have natural resources and still cannot get basic services? Do you watch your leaders travel abroad for medical treatment in the hospitals they were supposed to build for you? If your answer is yes, you already know what this channel is about. Because Nigeria is not alone. We exposed how Guyana discovered oil and watched foreign companies take everything while its own people saw nothing. We documented how Britain collected 250 years of free labor from Jamaica, then made Jamaica pay compensation to the slave owners when it ended. We broke down how Gaddafi gave Libyans free homes, free hospitals, and free education, then announced a gold currency that would cut Western banks out of Africa forever. 7 months later, NATO launched over 7,000 airstrikes. We uncovered how Britain drained India of $45 trillion over 200 years of colonial rule and called it civilization. These are not conspiracy theories. These are documented. These are real. And every single one of them follows the same pattern. Find a resource. Control the government. Extract the wealth. Leave the people with nothing. Then bury the history. We are not letting them bury it. Nigeria did not fail. Nigeria was failed. By external pressure. By internal greed. By a political class that decided their own accounts mattered more than their country's future. The people who failed it are known. They have names. They have addresses. Some of them are still in office. And we are just getting started. There are governments right now actively trying to keep what we are about to cover next hidden forever. Countries whose oil deals have never been examined. Leaders whose foreign accounts have never been traced. Resources whose profits have never reached the people they belong to. We are going deeper, and we are going to name names. Share this video right now. Not later. Right now. Every Nigerian who watches this and does not share it is letting the people who looted this country win again. Tag a Nigerian. Tag a friend. Tag anyone who has ever asked why Nigeria is the way it is. Drop a comment below. Tell me where you are watching from. And tell me, do you want us to start calling out more politicians by name? Because we are ready to go there. Tell us what other hidden story you want us to expose next. Which country? Which leader? Which stolen resource? We build this for you. If you are not following the Odd Archive on Facebook right now, follow immediately. Facebook does not show our videos to everyone. If you are not following, you will miss what comes next, and you will never know what you missed. Go to our Facebook page and leave us a review. Every single review puts this content in front of more people who deserve to know this history. Find us on YouTube, subscribe, and turn on notifications so nothing gets past you. Follow, share, comment, review, because the next country we are exposing, their government has been hiding this for over 60 years. And you are not ready for what we found.